Means that do it.
Welcome to Air Checks. I'm your host, Ty Rose Now. Here we go with Programmer's Digest, the audio magazine for Volume 1, Issue 6, from October 23rd, 1972. This is narrated by Brian Taylor, WMAK, Nashville, Tennessee. We'll listen to On Stage with Jonathan Moore, the comic from England. Then Management per Imus. Don Imus, AM personality at WNBC Radio, New York City. Around the country with promos of KCBQ, San Diego, California, WMAK, Nashville, Tennessee, KEEL, Shreveport, Louisiana. Then we're going to go into the Ode to the Broadcast School with Ron Baxley, station manager of KKLS-FM of Atlanta, Georgia. Then into comic strips with Gary Burbank, a PM Drive personality of WAKY, yes, WAKY Radio, from Louisville, Kentucky. Then we'll listen to Kenny Everett. I want my job back, please. Yeah, Kenny Everett, the former personality of BBC Radio 1. Then we're going to go into those oldies but goodies. Bruce Morrow. Cousin Bruce. Yeah, Bruce Morrow from 1963, an air personality at WABC Radio in New York City. Then a Candid talk on radio with Charlie Murdock, general manager at WLW Radio in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then we're going to go into the profile of KGRCM with Norm Gregory and staff. He was the program director and personality of KGR Radio in Seattle, Washington. In fact, Norm Gregory was brothers with Brian Gregory. So these two brothers actually got together and they became DJs, which is kind of interesting. So here we go with Programmer's Digest.
Yes, sir. You sell do-it-yourself embalming kit or something like that?
Sell what?
A do-it-yourself embalming kit.
What do you want it for?
Well, it's Grandpa. He passed away Thursday, and we really can't afford no high funeral, you know.
Are you serious?
Now listen, I ain't fooling around here. This is serious. Grandpa, bless his heart, passed away Thursday, and we didn't know what to do. We just left him in a rocking chair on the front porch. It turned off cool. We figured the cool weather would keep him until we decided what to do with him. And we figured on having him embalmed if we can't do it ourselves and just burying him ourselves in the backyard, you know.
Well, man, you can't do that.
How come?
Well, how long have you been dead?
Well, he died Thursday, and
He died Thursday.
Died Thursday. Bless his heart. Is there any way you can help me out on that?
Well, you're going to get us all in trouble.
Sir?
How old is he?
He's 72.
72?
Yes, it was his time, no doubt about it.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, we was expecting it. We hate to see him go.
Well, what did he die of?
Pardon me?
What did he die of?
Well, I guess his old ticker just stopped ticking. I don't know.
His old ticker stopped ticking.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Who is this again, please?
it's WMAK.
William, this is Russ Spooner, WMAK.
Oh, me.
You have just been spoonerized.
Things are happening. The crisp fall season will soon give way to the icy flight of winter and the holiday seasons, with the usual maddening upsurge in program activity forthcoming. Be prepared. Think your promotions out front. You need some good ideas? Try the library. You might be surprised. October 23rd, 1972, Volume 1, Issue 6. PD opens its pages to English humor. Imus at sunrise, some good station promos. Note in particular, the head-on voting promo from KEEL, Shreveport. From Atlanta, the former director will talk about broadcast schools. You'll get a blast from the Louisville Slugger. We'll dust off Cousin Brucey, circa 1963. Get a programming viewpoint from a Mustang. And catch a glimpse of a great radio station in the Pacific Northwest as we move our cat whisker into position for Page 1. Programmer's Digest was on hand for the Rick Nelson concert at Massey Auditorium, Belmont College in Nashville, October 19th. Nelson was what one might expect of a star, but the highlight of the evening was the refreshing comedy of a young Englishman. If you listen closely, you might discover some lines for your show as we present Jonathan Moore on stage.
I was arguing still quite a deep emotional shock to see something like me creeping around up here. Probably saying, "Come on, Mary, let's get the heck out of here." "No, I want to watch the weirdo." You'll get used to me as we ramble through the Punchline seminar this evening. Many of you by now have probably noticed I talk kind of funny, and you're probably saying to yourselves, is he English or is he gay? Yes, I am. English. I'll explain. England is a small American vessel based in the Irish Sea. We all know where the Irish Sea is these days, don't we? Because they're always doing each other in. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? Yeah, because you are the weirdest person you're ever going to meet. Only you know what you do when you're alone. But women drive, and women have problems driving. They can't parallel park. Women park by sound. Watch them, they come rolling up to a spot downtown. Oh, that's close enough, Gladys. We'll walk to the curb. Yes, where are you? But I hate mechanical devices and machines because I'm one of these unlucky people. Whenever I touch mechanical brakes, started when I was a kid, I had a rocking horse that died. And then the other day I bought a new watch, shockproof, waterproof, and dustproof, caught fire. But I think the machine I hate more than any other machine in the world, washing machines. Did you know washing machines eat socks? Not two socks, one sock. Doesn't matter how well you look in the machine to the dryer, when you get home there's damn sock missing. So you know what to do next time. Go a bit early, take one of those old socks, throw it in the machine, wait a few minutes, let it digest it. Throw the laundry in and you'll be cool. I tried that, ate a t-shirt. Come on, I had to go to the laundry the other day. I hadn't been to the laundry in about 8 months. An incredible seething pile in the corner of my room. Instead, I see jockey shorts sliding down. So I got a box and a shovel. No, I'm not going to touch it, no way. Shoveled me in. Up we went down to the laundry. The laundry's all set up basically the same. There's the machines and dryers and a table and seats and benches in front of the table. And sitting on these seats and benches are funny little ladies. Laundry freaks. And they watch you because they want to see what your laundry's like. And if it's rotten, they talk about you. I didn't want anyone to see this lot, so I stood in front of the machine, opened up my coat, secretly crammed it all in, closed the door, put the money in. Nothing. Out of 20 machines, I got the bum one. I had to open the door, pull it all out, some of it fell on the floor and escaped. Ran outside and lit a cop on the ankle. This time I knew I was weird. They say, watch out for him, he's rancid, that one. Wow, get away from him. Weird. And then there's Agnew. Goodness me, Agnew is too much, isn't he? He really is a weird dude, man. Agnew has a Teflon mind. Nothing sticks to it. Dirty Hillary had a crew cut and a malignant hickey. She was a weird chick. So ugly, she if you moved in next door, your lawn would die. You go duck shooting. That to me is a strange hobby. You have to get up at the crack of dawn and you go out and down in a swamp. Arms to the teeth with shotguns, hand grenades, bazookas, range grinders, rifles and sandwiches, just to shoot a duck. And there's frogs. Not too many big frogs. Little girls love them. They want to find them by the pond, pick him up, kiss him, put him under their pillow, and in the morning a handsome fairy prince. Hi there. That would be mine. Now get out of here. There's all kinds of frogs. It's not just American frogs. There's Italian frogs. German frogs. Mexican frogs. Polish frogs. And toads, horny toads, that make a different sound. Like one over here, got it.
The Reverend Billy Salharkis conducts services at sunrise, and his gospel is Don Imus, WNBC New York, most every morning. As Caesar regarded gladiators, Imus talks about management.
There's only two guys I ever met that had any balls, and that was managers, and that was Jack Thayer and this numbskull here at NBC, Perry Bascom, who's either on dope or something, or doesn't want to go back to Boston. And usually if you get guys in a corner like they were here, then they're willing to go all the way with you. But they put up with it. I've done stuff here that they don't do on any FM station anywhere. And I've been backed up 100% on it. I dumped Irish Airlines. So we had a $40,000 account with them and dumped them out of here one morning. I forget what the line was, something about, what do you call a sniper in Belfast? Father. Most management is, they're just like everybody else, man. They're just scared to death, and they don't want to rock the boat. There's a few guys around that are not, but Ron Jacobs, I guess. Well, of course, Ron Jacobs is like Bobby Fischer. He's just a level above everybody, Nobody understands him, but he gets the job done. I guess there are other guys, too,
How about the commission and the effect of its ever-present fear factor?
You got to be realistic about that, but, hey, man, I hear these public broadcast outfits, guys, you hear everything on there, everything.
Yeah.
No holds barred. So I don't know why you can't do it on a commercial station. I don't know that anybody ever said you couldn't. If they get by with it I guess they don't have any sponsors to lose, is all.
Right.
I'm not pushing for that to be the norm that you can say like on the radio. I'm just saying that I've heard it done. I've seen it done on television.
Right.
Channel 13 here in New York. WBAI here in New York. So FM listener sponsor thing or whatever. One of those commie deals is what it is, But the fact that they're communists doesn't make any difference.
And in regard to a possible conflict of the jocks' activities and management wishes, he says,
You can get reaction from people, or whether you're doing the right thing or not. I don't mean some teeny barbacoa trying to ball you, but you can get an idea if what you're doing is where it's at. And then you have to decide yourself, man, to be able to go, to be willing to go all the way with it. If you really believe in what you're doing, and a general manager comes in and says, "Hey, man, I don't want to hear any more of that," you got to be willing to tell him to kiss your ass. You have to be willing to do that. And I don't know many guys in radio that are willing to do that, or in any other business, any stockbrokers, used car salesmen, whatever. But that's always been my attitude, man. And this gig I've got here means nothing, man. I got 3 Jewish attorneys, and if they come in and say, "Well, we ain't going to have no more Reverend Hargis selling pictures of Jesus and stuff," man, you can't do that. Then I'm just walking. That's it. And you can always get a job somewhere, but you have to be willing to do that. You have to really believe in what you're doing. You have to be reasonable about it. You can't be. You can get on the radio and say things. No, but you have to really believe in what you're doing, and then be willing to go the max with it, man. Be willing to say, well, I'll get another job someplace else.
Do note, however, Don emphasizes the fact you must be willing to take a walk, because right or wrong, the boss is always the boss. Imus is on his way. We're not exactly sure where, as he already says he's at the top. But no matter where he goes, you can bet your bottom dollar it won't be dull. He has another LP ready to go for RCA titled One Sacred Chicken to Go. A single scheduled for the first of the year, several TV shows and appearances coming up, and yes, pick up a Life magazine for an interesting spread on Imus in the morning. Briefly around the country for some promos worth a moment of your time. Shades of Chicken Man. From KCBQ San Diego and the production stable of Jack McCoy comes this bit of humorous put-on.
And now, the seemingly endless adventures of the Q crew. We join our heroes as they stop at Ocean Beach to get a bite to eat. We hear Captain Ripoff utter a familiar phrase. Where are we?
The Clown of the Box drive-thru. They've got great hamburgers.
May I have your order, please?
Little Q, I could swear I just heard a voice.
I said, may I have your order, please?
There it is again.
Hey, you clowns gonna order food or what?
Oh, yes, I'll have 2 jumbo clowns, a bonus clown, and a glass of unpasteurized milk.
How about an apple turnover?
No, thank you.
You sure you don't want an apple turnover?
No, thank you.
I'll have a breakfast clown and a Coke float with cheese.
How about one of our great apple turnovers?
No!
All right.
Young man, what radio station do you listen to?
Radio station?
Yes.
Just a minute, hold on a minute. Hey, Bob, what radio station you got on back there? KCBQ. KCBQ.
You just ripped me off for a brand new $100 bill.
Sorry, bud, we don't give change over $5 after 9 o'clock.
You don't understand. All I have is $50, $100, and $1,000 bills.
Sorry, no 5, no food.
What now, Captain Ripoff?
We have no choice, little Q. Make that 100 bonus clowns, 55 coffees, 35 turnovers. Tune in next time when still another exciting Q listener will say,
may I have your order, please?
A lot of stations are into broadcasting radar locations in the public interest. Once upon a time, the long arm of the law would have frowned upon this practice, but has finally come to the conclusion that an ounce of prevention saves the writing of a lot of tickets and pencil lead, and maybe an accident or two.
WMAK's Radar Watch. We believe it's important to save lives on Nashville streets in any way possible, whether it be issuing radar tickets or just warning people of radar units, cautioning them to slow down. That's why we keep Nashville informed 24 hours a day with police radar locations. Leave your dial on 1300 for up-to-the-minute radar locations. And if you see radar in operation, call WMAK. Who knows? You may be helping to save someone's life.
The topper is a good one for election time and is designed to increase your popularity and rapport with the citizens of the community. Such was the case with KEEL in Shreveport.
August 19th. Voters of Caddo and Bossier Parish will cast their votes on school board positions, constitutional convention seats, the horse racetrack issue, the U.S. Senate race, district judgeship, Second Circuit Court of Appeal judgeship, constitutional amendments, Democratic Executive Committee posts, Public Service Commissioner, State Board of Education seat. Will you vote?
Hell, I ain't voted since the third time Clyde Fant's elected.
Gosh, I'm glad you reminded me of it. When was it again?
They don't put no bread on my table, do they? I'm not a registered voter. I'm ashamed of it, but I just never got around to registering.
Another election? My God, that's all they have around here anymore.
All of them are crooks. It don't make any difference who gets elected.
What right do you have to complain? You don't give a damn.
Programmer's Digest feels the production room is the lab from which you create your station image. Just food for thought. Broadcasting schools are often a topic of discussion, both pro and con. Ron Baxley is the former director of the Atlanta Columbia School of Broadcasting. In recent months, he rejoined the Corps of Radio Programmers as PD of KKLS-FM in Atlanta, where he recently has become station manager. His experience includes programming for the McClendon chain and a one-year consulting stint for Radio Nord, a pirate off the coast of Sweden, before the government persuaded it to pull up anchor and leave. Ron's 18-plus years and vast experience well qualify him for his Ode to a Broadcast School.
A broadcasting school can provide its students with a quick knowledge of the basic fundamentals of the radio industry. They will at least learn what a commercial is and how to read it. They'll get acquainted with newscast procedures, the various fundamentals of the departments of a radio station, traffic, copy, sales, etc. They'll be taught how to read a sportscast, not play-by-play, because I think you have to learn that yourself. They'll get acquainted with live interviews, including how to write an interview. They'll learn how to cover an on-the-scene report and be taught how to write and deliver editorials. In other words, a student will be exposed to all the inner workings of a radio station in several written assignments. A broadcasting school is good for laying out the knowledge of the neophyte broadcaster, making him aware of the industry's terminology and functions. The final product that comes out depends a great deal on how well the student applies himself while attending and the length of the course itself. Broadcast schools have courses running from 3 months up to 2 years, depending on the school. Now, there are broadcasting schools which operate out of a one-room office with a broken-down tape recorder and a fast-talking manager, usually a used car salesman. And there are schools that actually teach broadcasting. At least most of the better-known schools have all the proper equipment. Most have broadcasting booths with reel-to-reel or cassette tape recorders, a console with a turntable, and all the pots and switches they'll be confronted with. A final word about broadcasting schools in general. They are not a benevolent organization. They are in business to make money, and to make money they must enroll students. Obviously, not all of them will become great or even good announcers. Not all of them. Many students will become disinterested and drop out. But as in everything else in life, the ones who have a burning desire to make it will make it, and will get everything they can from the school. If it's a decent school, the student will be a good, devoted broadcasting employee, if somewhat raw in experience.
He's the Louisville Slugger, Gary Burbank, Johnny Randolph's pride and joy. Or is that his cross to bear? Like Dr. Jekyll, he conjures up madness on a daily basis. And he's this week's comic strip. PD madly presents beautiful downtown Burbank. Gary, that is.
Gary Glitter.
WAKY.
519 and WAKY. Hi. This is Gary Burbank asking you to support the rehabilitation of the criminally insane. Or I'll kill you.
Remember. Question is, what stretches farthest, skin or rubber?
Oh, rubber.
No, skin.
Skin?
Yeah, Moses tied his ass to a tree and walked 40 miles.
I didn't know that. It's 1:15 a.m. and little Johnny Powers can't sleep.
Mommy, I can't breathe.
Good, it's working.
Who draws the crowd?
Hey, listen, do you realize when you use Listerine, you kill thousands of germs on contact? Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want anything dying in my mouth.
Gary Burbank, patriot.
I saw the American flag waving at full mast the other day, and I knew that someone, somewhere, was alive. I knew that, yes I did. A musical answer is philanthropist. The musical question is, what does a philanthropist do behind a tree? Wow. 5:15 at WAKY, and it's time now for Billy Joe Right On. Hey, time for news from the teeny bop world of Imus. What with the young groups like the Osmonds and the Partridge Family, look out for an even younger and groovier Glincy favorite bunch of people, Benji and the Fetuses, with their new hit, Crying on the Inside, scheduled to come out when they do. Thank you, Billy Joe.
Strive to be happy.
And as the sea, like the universe, for what is the use in pursuing the maiden if she is as the unknown forest? And who knows of beauty more than the unfortunate? Who will be the trapper if we are all as the animal? Like the traveler who lands in Hawaii and is given a lay. There is great wisdom in the ancient sayings. Today, many of us are blessed with the power to see all. But $3.50 a carload at Theater X.
WAKY.
In the last exciting episode, A Bit of Britain, August 28th PD, Kenny Everett had been fired from the BBC for his reference to the Lord Chancellor of Transportation's wife and her difficulty in obtaining a driver's license, short of what he termed a fiver, apparently taken as meaning a bribe. He did a specially recorded show this past Christmas, which was aired by BBC's regional FM outlets, in which he cocked a plea for his job. Well, he didn't get it back, but we think you'll find his production well done and a great deal of showmanship injected into the effort. And brother, that's radio.
Now, the reason I've come onto Radio 4, apart from to wish you Merry Christmas, is to tell you what you're missing in the outside world. Because locked away in your quality pods, you just won't know about it, will you? So I'm going to bring you what's happening elsewhere, like on the other radio channels. I mean, surrounded by quality, you'll miss things like this.
That was Harvey and the Moonglows and the 10 Commandments of Love.
See what I mean?
From the world, the nation, and the Texas News Triangle. This is Hourly News.
It's just been announced that there's going to be a musicians' strike. Until we hear more, here's some music.
Shirley would gulp down her breakfast, shut the fridge and join the throng. Margaret Beatty snatched the milk and scanned the news and went along. Everybody out! Annie Harris drew the curtain, screwed her eyes up, had a peek. Saw the marchers, heard their voices making early morning noises. Stumbled back to bed and tried to sleep. Come with us, run with us. We're gonna change the world. You'll be amazed, so full of praise. When we rearrange your world, we're gonna just...
And now, friends, a Christmas appeal on behalf of the Bring Back Cuddly Ken to Radio campaign. Yes, ever since my sacking in 1970... By the way, what do you think of my sacking?
Oh, it suits you, darling. You'd always wear a sacking.
Oh, we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. From radios 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 as well. Yes, friends, Christmas, the festive season of goodwill, love, peace, and happiness, and forgiveness to all men. So I want the BBC giving me job back. Yes, friends. Ever since his cruel demise from the BBC, Cuddly Ken has been living in a rat-infested mansion in the Sussex money belt. Oh, Lee?
Yes, dear?
Is there any more food in the fridge?
No, dear.
Well, pass me another ice cube. Thank you. No food in the fridge, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. No heat in the pipes, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. No dough in the bank, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Oh golly, oh cripes, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. My fame is a laugh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. A thing of the past, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I'm just a poor soul on the door this Merry Christmas tide. Can't even afford a good backing. Yes, here I am, a dejected ex-star, cast out into the cold. What is to become of me? I had the British public eating out of my hands. When I said,
"Hi, folks, this is Cuddly Ken,"
the world listened. When I played a record, it stayed played. But now... Can I say bum on the BBC?
Just a moment, I'll check. Can he say bum on the BBC? I don't know, I'll just check.
Can he say bum on the BBC?
I don't know, I'll check. Can he say bum on the BBC? Yes. Thank you. Bum, bum, bum. Earwigs are nibbling at my toes. Rats gather round me and the northeast winds doth blow all around me bones. Oh, I think I'll end it all and die because I'm done. Can you see this happen? Can you stand by and see this crime perpetrated? This Christmas, as you're cramming food down your face, spare a thought for Everett. Send money now to the Keep Ken Alive Fund, Squalor Mansions, Rat Alley, Cowfold. Richard Baker will give you the address at the end of the program. Won't you, Richard?
He's an institution in New York, Atticus State Prison. And no, seriously, everybody knows he's been at the top of the rating heap for years. We're speaking seriously of WABC's Bruce Morrow. For this bit of yesteryear, we draw from 1963. The Singing Nun and Dominique topped record charts. Ray Charles was named Male Vocalist by Downbeat magazine. And the United States consumed over $570 million in record sales. And all the while, the Big Apple consumed the Cousin Brucey Show.
WABC, AM and FM, New York.
77 WABC.
With Cousin Bruce. Cousin Bruce.
Yes, hi everybody. Take my hand. It's Grant. We're up to the top 10 right now. Hope everybody's having a wonderful time on the Brucey Show. We're going to be talking about Sheepshead Bay High School in Brooklyn. And then the last half hour, Our Lady of Mercy Academy in Syosset. Right now, let's get down to our important business. Guys and gals, from number 8 last week, this one drops down 2 notches to number 10. Sunny and the Sun Glows, number 10. All right, mark that down as number 10 on the All-American Survey. Sunny and the Sun Glows there at WABC. Chime time, hit time, you know, right now. It's 4 minutes after 11 o'clock every Tuesday night on The Cousin Show. It is Top 20 Night, the All-American Survey, the brand new survey. And make us a date every night, 10 to midnight. We have a ball. And remember, it's part 2 of the biggest double play combination of modern radio. Scott Meany from 7:15 until 10. And then Cousin Brucey rides again.
It happens first. 77 WABC. All-American.
Okay, we have everything that you love, my dear cousins. Right after this record, we'll salute Sheepshead Bay High School. Leslie Gore from number 10. Creeping up there in the top 10, though. Staying there, number 9. It's a goodie. Has a good background. I think that's what did it to this record. That's what made it. She's a Fool. It's Leslie Gore. Wow, you caught me unawares there. Just a minute, I'll get off of the floor here. And She's a Fool, that is number 9 on the All-American Survey. I hope you're writing down all these numbers. We've been doing the whole top 20 here. Leslie Gore, and we do that every Tuesday night, you know. 43 WABC degrees, all heavyweights here. Leslie Gore, no, she's not a heavyweight. All sluggers, all Americans of Radio WABC, my dear cousins. And thank you for making us the biggest station in the entire area. WABC in New York. Hey, it's 8 minutes after 11 o'clock. Take my hand. We salute now Sheepshead Bay High School in Brooklyn, New York.
The greatest team in the world. You! And 77 WABC. All-American.
Vice President and General Manager of Avco Broadcasting in Cincinnati. That's Charlie Murdock, and the station is WLW. But don't let titles fool you. Murdock came up through the ranks, jocking, programming, you name it, and he's been involved. We best remember him during his early days when he worked for Todd Stores at WQAM in Miami, a freewheeling, hard-running operation. He talked about some of the memorable promotions.
One of the big ones was the Principal of the Year contest, which I borrowed from Johnny Holliday, who was at Cleveland at the time, who's now doing our morning show at WWDC for Avco in Washington. We had I guess it was one of the first multi-thousand entry contests that we had, whereby we had I don't know how many thousands at the time, but we were trying to get the school with the biggest spirit and name that school's principal as our Principal of the Year and so forth. It was one of the first times before Fred Hall and the rest of them at WABC did it. I think we cracked it down in Miami, and then it went spread all over. But that was one of the biggies. Then Rick Shaw and I had a feud, and we had many thousands of entries on that one too. Those were some of the big contests.
And then there was the music playlist.
Well, Todd Stores and I had a couple of arguments about that, and Bill Stewart's administration for programming came in and out during that time period, but the policy generally was the top 100 in Billboard, I guess the top 40 in Billboard, plus the bullets below, the red bullets below the 40 mark were all of the extras that we had. And we had a home office sheet plus our local sheet. And it was primarily, I think, a marriage between Cashbox and Billboard, primarily Billboard.
Charlie was with the Stores operation from 57 to 65 and remembers some of his teammates.
Lee Sherwood was our morning man. Ted Clark was mid-morning. We had Bob Green, who, not the one that married Anita Bryant, but the one who went later to Detroit. He was in mid-afternoon. And then we had Jimmy Dunlap join us, who's now PD at QAM. Jimmy was... I think Jimmy was 1 to 4, and then I was 4 to 7, and Rick Shaw 7 to midnight, and we had a number of all-night men after that.
He reflects on QAM as a trendsetter and competitor.
When we were fighting WFUN in those days, we went out for blood. Bud Cannell had come in 1961, and in 3 years really made a new competitive market out of it. At one time, Miami had 4 rockers. Back in the mid-60-61 era, we had... WFUN, WCKR was rocking, the old, which is now WIOD. It was IOD, then it was CKR, and then we had WAMY, which was rocking. So you had CKR, WAMY, QAM, and FUN at one time with a slight overlap. Then one of them, I think WAMY fell out of the picture, and then it was very, very competitive in those days. And Bud Connell started the ball rolling in 1961, and from there to 65, it took us about 3.5 years and many thousands of dollars to promote it back.
The difference in radio then and today. A big question, and this answer.
Well, you had your Gordon McClendons that were fighting with competitors. You had McClendon going against K-Box in Dallas, and you had Plow going against Esquire in Atlanta, and you had us against Ron Seville in Miami. You had MCA with Strauss going against ABC in New York. You had your Chicago fights. You had your big Top 40 was the big new creative thing. And I think today is the lack of creativity. People have just given up. There's one rocker in Atlanta, plus an FM rocker. There's one rocker here in Cincinnati, plus an FM rocker. In other words, you got a major and a minor rock situation, and you just don't have enough creative people to really make a knockdown drag-out out of it, either creative selling or creative programming. And to me, there's just as much challenge in our radio business today at either side as there ever was, especially when you find that out of our general managers of the 5 radio stations and AVCO broadcasting, all 5 came out of programming and were former air guys. And I don't think you find enough people today that are, especially down in the program director or announcing level, who are willing to get in and dig as hard and fight and be creative and live it and have that total 5, 10, 15 years ago. You just, for some reason, you don't find it. I don't know whether it's the Drake format has caused people to become time and temperature conscious and not as creative and not as promotion-oriented, or what it is, but I don't find it the same as far as rockers go. Now, there's another answer to it if you're talking about the total radio picture. Our station here has all of its personality, all its personalities, with the exception of one, are all top 40 former jocks. They've come from the top 40 era. They were tired of doing record hops and this kind of thing, and we decided to take that same rock format and just change the music to middle of the road, or as Bill Gavin calls it, all over the road music today.
The Big Bomb, and food for thought from Charlie Murdock, VP and General Manager of WLW Cincinnati. Programmer's Digest presents one fine radio station, KJR, Seattle, Washington. We're sure you'll share the same conviction of respect and admiration when you sample this mammoth Pacific Northwest showcase of talent with an introduction from one of its programming ramrods, Norm Gregory.
KJR has a highly personalized approach to radio. I don't know if it could work many places, but it certainly has been working in Seattle. Most of our guys are from the Pacific Northwest area. Well, they've worked here so long, they don't want to go anywhere else. And with 5 AM rockers and 3 FMers to choose from, we feel pretty fortunate to be dominant in the 3-county metropolitan area. And we have a lot of fun doing it. 3 years ago, by a landslide vote, Seattle got themselves an emperor. The morning 6 to 10 slot has been a big part of Lee Smith's life for a long time now. He's been with the company almost 6 years, and now he's at the pinnacle of his career as a much-in-demand Emperor Smith. I think people just have their clock radio turn him on just to see if he could be that high every morning.
Want to know about your Northwest? Subscribe to Pacific Search magazine, the Northwest's own nature journal. This month's Pacific Search tells about close-up photography of wild animals, the ladybug caper, a gopher that digs a 300-foot tunnel in one night, warm-blooded bulldozers, and how to ask an old fossil for the correct time. Send now for your free copy of Pacific Search magazine, Box 593, Seattle 98111. Well, did Emperor tweak your imagination with that? I can tell you're rushing right over to order, aren't you? It's 17 before 7. It's 8.5 before 7 from Channel 95. Jim has news coming up in about 3.5 minutes here. Listen to him. He's good at it. He doesn't have to do it for a living, which I think it's nice that he's here with us. He's independently wealthy. Jim owns a newspaper. You what? Not anymore? You left it on the bus? Oh.
My name is Charles Herring.
Chairman.
Seattle's Emperor Smith.
For over 10 years now, Lan Roberts has been talked about by anybody that listens to the radio in the Pacific Northwest. Lan's a warm, friendly, slightly kooky guy that breaks every rule in the Top 40 playbook. Except one. He gets huge midday ratings. Lan Roberts, 10 to 2 on KJR.
Oh, it's a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest, isn't it? 13 minutes past 10 o'clock from KJR.
Hi out there, Mrs. Housewife. You got rats in your basement, got rats running around, you don't know what to do with them? Well,
Chomp, chomp.
take this advice from farmers who are really into rats.
Kill them.
They've got to kill them or lose money, of course. And to kill rats, one of these experts choose Decon, America's best-selling rat killer, right up there among the top 10.
Sometimes they have Jim Neighbors singing to them. That kills them, too.
New rat killer. New rat killers come on the market every year. They get some trial, then they fade away. But more and more people keep buying Decon all the time because it's delicious. That's what the rats say.
The rats love it.
That's why Decon increasingly outsells all other rat killers combined.
They like it on whole wheat.
Decon sells best because farmers know it's a rat killer that really works. Rats can't resist Decon's delicious exclusive blend LX321. They never get bait shy. They eat it hungrily until the entire colony is wiped out.
Come down and taste some at the station if you don't believe us.
You see, Decon, this line kills me. Decon gives you a rat-killing ingredient recommended by the United States government authorities. And best of all, Decon, when used as directed, is safe around children, pets, poultry, and livestock.
And increases your mammary glands.
And it's the sure way to rid your property of rats completely. So insist on Decon year after year, America's best-selling rat killer. While others come and go, Decon is still around. Here's a satisfied user. How long have you been using it?
Well, I've been using Decon Rat Killer for a number of years. We used to have 10,000, 20,000 rats in the house all the time, you know, and they were eating the paper, the Post Intelligentsia, all the time. They're eating the paper. I never knew what the hell was happening in the world, and then we got rid of it.
Do you remember that special candy?
Just for you.
I'm sure a lot of you have been driving around your car at night have heard of the legendary Wolfman Jack, probably one of the most famous radio personalities in the United States today, who was working down at K-Day down in Los Angeles. We have him on the telephone right now. Wolfman, are you there?
Oh, certainly I'm here, man. I'm sitting right here in my palatial home here in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, whatever, you know.
I thought it would be interesting if you could...
Is there?
What's that?
Is Mr. Murray Roman there?
I'm here, Wolfman.
Yeah, Murray's on the other line. Yeah, Murray's on the other line, Wolfman.
The other line?
Yeah, now, Wolfman, would you do an introduction to a record for the people in Seattle for me?
I'd rather talk about my roller skating techniques, man.
No. Don't do it. There's young girls listening now.
Now, I became the roller skating champion of my block over here, you understand?
How'd you do that?
Well, I just got bigger roller skates, man. That's all. I found out the bigger the roller skate, the faster you go. Did you know that, Murray? You've been using those little bitty roller skates, man, and it doesn't work out for you.
Oh, I know.
You put a lot of Vaseline on the roller skates. I get the big ones, man.
You get the big roller skates, put a lot of Vaseline on them.
Yeah, right.
And then what do you do?
Then you roller skate.
That's right, I guess.
I see. Murray, you think you could get him to introduce the record?
I can't get him to introduce anything. This is what he does all day long. He sits around in his roller skates wearing that purple drapeted dress that he's got. Looking crazy, man, I'm telling you, and fooling around with 14-year-old girls. Introduce a record, will you, Wolfman?
Oh, this is Brother Bill Withers, and just use me, baby, until you use me all up.
Oh, dynamite.
I'm on in the afternoon. I've been doing the 2 to 6 drive thing for over a year now, and I feel pretty good about it. I've been at KJR for about 4 years. Seattle is where I grew up, went to school, and I love the Northwest. I consider myself a sort of a strong, sensible type of personality that you can depend on. Sometimes I have a hard time finding people to agree with me, but I do have a lot of fun.
It's the band from Berkeley, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Born on the Bayou. Such a heavy song. Probably would sink right to the bottom of the swamp.
I'm Gregory, more music radio for you.
26 before 3, good afternoon from KJR. The Restless Girl and the Endless Flight. Eagles takes us up to the Witchy Woman. I hope you're making plans to see the incredible haunted house. I was down there last night, and I'm not kidding. It is incredible. It's a huge. This is no amateur event. This is a huge professional production. It must take over 100 people to run that thing. It'll run for about 10 days through Halloween at 3rd at Vine, the KJR 1972 Variety Club Haunted House.
Carling Brewing Company, Tacoma, Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, an absolute Seattle radio first. We're now dialing another number
number as KJR's giving away $100,000 in cash. It's contest time.
The cash call total this hour is $611. 611 as we're going on a toll call to Puyallup. Hope you have a nice weekend.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We're adding $14 now to that KJR $100,000 cash call jackpot.
That makes it 625, which is a nice guessable number. We'll try it again in about a half hour. Summer Breeze is by Seals and Crofts. It's from their album on Warner Brothers. It's 16 minutes before 3 o'clock this afternoon at KJR. I'm Norm Gregory. I just read in the paper this morning they busted 3 more girls out at Harpoon Louis for being topless and performing waitress duties because I don't know why the law, I guess they're protecting the girls after all. It used to be, you know, it's dangerous. It used to be that waitresses, the fingers would be the only thing that could get scalded by the soup of the day.
KJR Seattle.
Kevin O'Brien is still called the new kid. New because he's the most recent addition to the staff, came from Oklahoma last June, and a kid because he hasn't got a draft number yet. Kevin is a typical high-energy 18-year-old rock and roller, and the evening crowd loves him because he can send their parents right up the wall. And besides, he's kind of cute.
I went to the haunted house, and these people kept on grabbing me and touching me, and I think I'll go back again tomorrow night.
The KJR Variety Club Haunted House is open now till Halloween at 3rd and Vine.
Listen, you can go through with me if you want.
The Aquarius Tavern and Juicy Fruit Gum.
KJR Constant Information. Your listening time for this report, 90 seconds. Don't miss a word of it. KJR weather partly cloudy through Tuesday with night and morning fog patches 43 and 58. It's currently 53 degrees. I'm Frank Thompson.
Baby, don't get hooked on me.
Baby, don't get hooked on me. I got a lot of terrible habits. I eat gumdrops in bed.
More music radio.
And that's all. It's 7:18. Kevin O'Brien is playing through. Oh, Claire. How cute. The amazing and talented KJR Engineering Department has again come through with a Dixie cup and string, and we're going to talk to the haunted house. Hi. Hey, Gary.
Is that me?
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. This has got to be the scariest haunted house you've ever seen.
Don't give me
I haven't had a chance to go through, but I have some people from the shoreline districts. Watch it, fella. How did you like the haunted house? How did you like it?
It was okay. I mean, it was scary.
Did you go through the rat room? Did anybody go through the rat room? I'm curious about that. How about you?
No, I didn't go through it.
They got a lot of hamsters.
I don't know any of the name of the rooms, but I like the one where they jump down and they grab you.
Maybe people come out and grab you and things? Pretty scary. By the way, Kevin, for those of you who are listening, the haunted house is at 3rd and Vine.
I'll be darned.
And it's open tonight till 10:30. Now, it'll be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that means you'll have to wait till Thursday night to go again. And you know how crowded it's going to be during the holiday weekend, during Halloween. There's a hanging going on every half hour, too. The line isn't too bad. There's a full moon out, and it's really scary. Let's hear a scream for the haunted house.
Is that it? Is that? I suppose Gary's through now. Johnny Nash!
I can see clearly now.
Nighttime radio in Seattle is almost synonymous with Gary Shannon's name. In his almost 4 years at KJR, he's worked just about every nighttime gig. He's a Seattle kid who's an exciting, knowledgeable radio personality. He helps me with the music, and as they say around town, Gary's a gorilla.
More music radio.
KJR. And this is Gary. I love fall. Best of all, Shannon. Well, I will after we get through all this shower stuff, possible isolated thunder showers. Overnight, partly cloudy. Tomorrow, and then it's going to be nice again. Fair on Thursday. In the upper 30s for a low tonight, in the mid-50s tomorrow. Small craft warnings will be up. A couple of guys left Savoy Brown and put together a new groove. It's called Fog Hat. This record moves me. Baby, I just want to make love to you.
Joe Simon for Coca-Cola.
Rainier Beach sophomore class washes your car for $1 from 10 a.m. to 4 Saturday at 8824 Rainier Avenue South. Gary Shannon till 2 o'clock. Then I'm going home, spending my leisure hours watching the test pattern on Channel 11. Nothing to do for us night freaks after 2. What do we got to do around here?
Are you optimistic? Gary Shannon. More Music Radio.
It's 11:10. Hello. Alice Cooper putting down his snake, pulling out his whip. With mascara running down his face, he says, I want to be your man. You like that?
KJR's secret isn't really so secret. It's on the air every day. Warm, up personalities that have their stuff together. A huge station involvement with the community. For 7-8 years now, we've been known for raising gobs of money for student bodies with our All-American basketball team. Our haunted house every October is seen by thousands that donate money to the Children's Orthopedic Hospital, and the projects go on and on. Most everybody in Seattle realizes how much we care about this part of the country and the people who love it as much as we do.
This is the world's first audio magazine, and it's designed solely for radio. With almost 8,000 radio stations in the United States, Programmer's Digest feels it high time that broadcasters have their own exclusive form of communication for the purpose of growing by sharing and learning. If you love radio and share our goals, spread the word and urge a friend to support PD. We want to be a vital member of your team. Programmer's Digest is a division of Audio Video Corporation of America. From WMAK Nashville, this is Brian Taylor.
That was Programmer's Digest from October 25th, 1972. Next hour, which will be actually tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have one more Programmer's Digest record, which is I just completely amazed by all that this record came out with. This magazine came out with. As a trade magazine, and gave you a good insight of radio back in 1972. So, see you next time on the same channel.